Learning to lead Nishmas Etta Ahuva Bas Yaakov Maseches Bava Metzia Perik Aleph Mishna Vav. Motzei Shtar Chayiv. If someone finds a Shtar Chayiv in the shuk, Im Yesh Behem Achrayis Nechasim Lo Yachzer. If there's Achrayis on this Shtar, meaning that if the loiva does not pay back the malva could go after property that the loiva sold. He could go after the lekuches to collect that property. So then such a shtar shouldn't be returned to the malva to collect with. Shebezdin nefra mehem, because Bezdin is going to wind up collecting from the lekuches. However, ein behem achrayis nechasim, if there is no achrayis nechasim, so by you returning it to the malva, and most the malva could do is collect it from the loiva, but it can't go basa after the loiva's lekuches. She'ein bezdin nefra mehen. So then, in such a case, you could return it. Divrei Meir, that's the Shita Meir. So what's the chilek between, what's the problem if they collect from the lekuches? So there's three pshatim in the Gemara. The first two pshatim assume that the loiva admits that he owes the money, and yet we're afraid that the shtar was written to be given in Nisan, but he didn't wind up borrowing the money until Tishrei, and therefore you're going to collect lekuches that extra period of time, shaloi kidin. The second shot also assumes that he owes the money, and the chashash is that there's a knunya between the loiva and the malva. They made up together that I'll say I owe you the money, you'll collect from my lekuches, and then afterwards we'll split it. So because of that, you don't return it to the malva. The third shot in the Gemara is that the loiva is not maida, that he owes the money. So the problem is, if that's the case, even if there's no achrayis nechasim, don't return it to the malva, because the malva is going to collect from the loiva, and the loiva is saying he doesn't owe this money. So on that, the Gemara says that this shita held, Shmuel, that a shtar choiv that has no achrayis nechasim, you can't even collect for it, even from the bnei chari, so even from the loiva, there's no chash by returning such a shtar that he's going to collect from the loiva if the loiva does not owe the money. Mishna Zayin, Matza Gitei Nashim V'Shechuri Avadim, Taitiki Matana V'Sherim. If someone found one of these five shtaras, either a get, Isha, or a shtar shechur saying that a slave was free, or a Taitiki, which is Dot Tehei Koi, the shtar tzava saying what the person who's about to be nifter wants to be done with his property. Matana is a shtar that he gave away property as a matana, and shevrim is the receipt that the malva gave the loiva after the loiva paid. So you find such a shtar, hareza lo yachzer, you shouldn't return it. Shani yomer ksuvim hayu nimlach, ksuvim hayu v'nimlach aleim shlelitnu. Maybe they were written, but they weren't actually given. And by you picking it up and giving it to them, you are causing a problem because it was actually never given. The Gemara is medayik. It's dafka in this mission. It's the chashash is that maybe it was never given. But if he says tenu, if he says, let's say the Baal says that I did give my wife a get, then you would give the get isha to the wife, and it would be a valid get. So the question is that the Mishnah in Gittin says not like that. There's a chashash on such a shtar that was lost that there's Shnei Yosef ben Shimon, and therefore the get is invalid. So Gemara says three terutzim: either there's only chashash of Shnei Yosef and Shimon b'makom shashayaris mitzuyim in a place where it's huchzaku Shnei Yosef and Shimon, or the reason why there's no chashash of Shnei Yosef and Shimon in our Mishnah is because the Edom say that they only signed on this one get of Yosef and Shimon, or because there's a hole on the side of a certain letter in the get, and therefore we know for sure this is the get, and therefore there's no chashash of Shnei Yosef ben Shimon. The Gemara asks one more kasha on this Mishnah, that why is this Mishnah different than the last Mishnah? In the last Mishnah, according to the second pshat, we said that there's a chashash, the first pshat actually, Shema Kasav Lilvis Benisim V'Lelava Atishri. So why isn't the chashash over here also by the Get Noshim and Shechuri Avadim that it was written before it was given, and therefore you're going to be Tayrif L'Kuchais Shaloi Kidin. So the Gemara says that by Gitei Nashim, the lekuches are going to challenge, if you come collect from the lekuches, they're going to challenge you and they're going to say, who says the zman is right on the shtar? By shtar chayiv, they're not going to challenge, the lekuches aren't going to challenge, because they're going to assume if Bezdin gave back the shtar, obviously the shtar is a valid shtar and the zman's a valid zman. But by Gitei Nashim and Shechuri Avadim, the person's going to say that the reason why Bezdin gave it back because the Isha needs her get in order to get married, so she shouldn't be an Aguna. The Evan needs the Shtar Shecher in order to show that he's free. So just because they gave it back doesn't mean the Zman's valid, and therefore they're going to challenge. They're not going to be Torah for Kuchash Leikadin, because the Kuchas are going to say, I see Raya, bring me a Raya, Amos Mata Gita Liyadcha, and they're going to challenge to make sure that the Zman is a right Zman.